Hello there everyone, it's me Harry, and this is day one of my Mediavent Calendar video game edition. I'm probably not going to say video game edition for the rest of this, but it's still going to be about video games regardless. And for day one, I felt like I wanted to show you a game series that I've been collecting quite a lot of recently, because, well, I just fancied to. If you remember earlier on in my YouTube career, to the ones who have known me for a long time, I was a big fan of Hasbro Interactive, the old video game division of Hasbro that was soon bought out by Infogrames. And then Infogrames got the rights to Hasbro board game licenses. But then, because of Atari, they were rebranded as Atari, due to their financial issues, they stopped publishing games, gave the license back to Hasbro, and then they signed a new deal with Electronic Arts. And so quite a few games came out of this deal. But today we're going to be taking a look at one game franchise that was named after a tagline, and then it became a game show itself. And this is Hasbro Family Game Night. So the whole Family Game Night series is that it comes with a boatload of Hasbro board games that you can play. So rather than just one, like Monopoly, it gives you a good amount, normally 5 or 6, depending on the game. So in this case, the original Family Game Night, which was released for the Wii and the PlayStation 2 in November of 2008, comes with 6 games. Connect 4, Battleship, Yahtzee, Boggle, Sorry, and Sorry Sliders. And they're all depicted on the front there. Mr. Potato Head's on the top, he's the game's host. And basically, as you progress through the games, you can decorate a room and earn trophies along the way. So, the marketing blurb on the top says, play your favourite games in all new ways. And this describes the alternate versions of the games that you can play. So, alongside the standard rules, there are also like alternate versions. So, like with Connect 4, there's the standard one, but there's also a version where that includes, I think, power chips or something, but I don't know because I've not played the enhanced versions. I've only played the originals. It's sort of like Monopoly Party on the GameCube and a few other platforms, where it comes with classic Monopoly, but then it also comes with Monopoly Party, which is a mode where everyone plays at once and it's more chaotic. So other blurb things read out, check out your game room. Well, I mean, deck out your game room, which that's what I was referring to by unlockable things. And you can also change the room into different themes. Throw a mini game party, something for everyone in the family. So this was obviously aimed towards kids and families. And then here's the disc. So because it was aimed towards the kids market, that's why EA just decided to release it on the PS2 and the Wii first, because they were the more family-friendly systems. So here's the manual. And then inside it tells you how each game plays. And whatnot. So yeah, typical for what you'd expect for the Wii. It was just another one of those family games, and it sold very well, so that led to Hasbro releasing more games in this series. And in 2009, they ended up releasing the game for the Xbox 360. Initially, they released it through Xbox Live Arcade as a program where it's free, but then you would have to buy each game separately for about £8 or $8. Roughly how much 800 Microsoft points are. And then in this game, it's got the same 6 games as the Wii version, but the North American release also included Scrabble, which wasn't included elsewhere because Mattel has the rights to Scrabble everywhere else. So here's the back. And it's kind of funny because the achievement feature lists down achievements that you get with Scrabble, but they are impossible to get if you have a European release of the game. So Why are they even included at all? I have no idea. There's also achievements for for 3 other games that were also included, but you can't get those anymore because the online servers are long gone. And they were Bop It, Jenga, and Connect 4x4, which were games in the second entry in the series, which I'll show you afterwards. But aside from that, it's just an HD port of the original Family Game Night. And if you have an Xbox 360 or a Wii, I recommend getting this version. It's if you prefer the enhanced graphics, but elsewise I don't care what version you get. It was also on the PlayStation 3 as well, but there was no physical release of that. It was download only, and like with most download only games, it's been delisted once EA's Hasbro license expired. So for 2009 on the Wii, we get Family Game Night Volume 2. So with this one, it includes 5 new games, and this time you can actually customize Mr. Potato Head with outfits and whatnot. So the games in this one are Bop It, Connect 4x4, Operation, Jenga, and Picturica. And they include a game show mode in this one, which doesn't have anything to do with the Family Game Night game show that aired in the States. That came out a year later. It's just a coincidence. So it says, play your favourite games on the Hasbro Family Game Show. That's what they refer to this version of the game as. And there's Mii support, or in the very rare Xbox 360 version that came bundled with the third game, it has Xbox Avatar support. And this continues on with the later entries in the series. I'm not really familiar with this one as much as I am with the first one. I don't know why, but I've not played this one as much. But it still doesn't mean it's a good game. There's the disc. There's Mr. Potato Head. And then here's the manual. So once again, all sorts of different games. It's funny that they included Jenga in this, because there was already a version of Jenga that was released on the Wii. And it was a really bad, really bad adaptation of the game. It was licensed by the company that owns Jenga. Hasbro does not own it. It's owned by another company. Hasbro just licenses it. And they must have gotten the rights to include Jenga in this. Yeah, so that's why Atari published that Jenga game, even though their Hasbro license had long expired. And then in 2010 came Family Game Night Volume 3, with 5 more games included this time. Cluedo, Twister, The Game of Life, Mousetrap, and Yahtzee Hands Down. Now this is a very interesting one. They decide to make the games like theme park attractions, hinted by the fact that the front cover is styled like a Ferris wheel. But this time there's not much to say about the back. It just says your favourite games are bigger than ever. There's like no blurbs or anything. The shame, really. I'm guessing Hasbro just wanted to give this like a bigger surprise or something. There's still Mii support in this, or Avatar, or... In the PS3 version, there was actually a custom avatar creator that was used instead, because the PS3 doesn't have a avatar support system that's like Mii's or Xbox avatars. And this was the last entry in the series that was done by EA Brightlight, which was EA's UK development studio, because they closed down shortly after they finished Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which I think they developed. Yeah. And you'd think that trying to convert Twister into a video game would be quite hard, but they just turn it into a rhythm game where you move the Wiimote around or press buttons for the 360 version. Which is kind of weird, I say. And then, speaking of the 360, here is the version of the game released for the system. It's pretty much the exact same game, just with enhanced graphics. So, once again, just get this version if you're happy with that. Not much else to say about it. And then last but not least, I do not have the Wii version of it, but I do have the 360 version of it, and that's Family Game Night for the game show. So they no longer call it Hasbro Family Game Night, they just call it Family Game Night. And it's very likely because they tie this in to the Family Game Night game show that aired in the States on the Hub, aka Discovery Family. So, because of this, they actually theme it towards the game show itself. But he doesn't have Todd Newton as the host, but he does do the narration of it. Instead, it's Mr. Potato Head again. And, of course, he doesn't speak. But, of course, Todd Newton provides voice lines along the way. And it includes 5 games, all from the show itself. Connect Four Basketball, Yahtzee Bowling, Sorry Sliders, Bop It Boptagon, and Boggle Flash, or Scrabble Flash as it's known in the States. So at least they didn't have to remove that one because they changed the name of it. I think Boggle Flash was its original name to begin with. And here is the disc. There's no manual this time, it's just a little quick startup guide. And it's also got the Kinect symbol on top, but it's not a fully Kinect game. It's the Kinect elements are optional, as hinted by that bit. And then with the Kinect, the game functions like the Wii version, where you're using your body instead of pressing buttons. And this was the only one that was done by a company called Wahoo Studios. And unfortunately, I would say that most of the games in this one don't control very well. Connect 4 Basketball, I think, is pretty bad at this because you're supposed to flick the joystick on the 360 controller. I mean, thumbstick, but 9 times out of 10, it doesn't read my motions or whatnot. So it's kind of hard, and Bop It Boptagon is pretty bad. It's really consistent on timing. And I don't think I've ever been able to beat that one. Don't know what it's like on the Wii version, but probably just as bad. And then, even though this isn't part of the series, I'll still include it anyway, because it's Hasbro and EA. And that's Monopoly, the console game. So there have been many different versions of Monopoly that have been released on consoles. But this one was the one that was released by Electronic Arts for pretty much every platform released at the time. PS2, Wii, 360, and PS3. So it's basically, you'd think that it's just a normal version of Monopoly, but then they include other features in it as well. So there's Classic Monopoly and Here and Now the World Edition. It says play in 30 minutes, so it's like a quick version of Monopoly in some way, but I don't know. I think they're trying to expand very hard on the original concept, so that they can charge probably like $40 or something. But there you are. That's the Family Game Night series. Hope you enjoyed my first Mediavent Calendar video. And I'll see you tomorrow for another entry. It probably won't be as long as this one, but still. See you, everyone.